And we are live. Hello, hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome to Gratitude Happy Hour. Thankful Thursday. There is so much to be thankful for, and I'm very thankful that Karen Palmer is with me. Hi, darling.
Hi, Terry. Hi, everybody. Happy Thankful Thursday.
Yeah, I love Thankful Thursday. It's one of those days, it used to be kind of a blah day, didn't it? Every other day had like a significance to it, but Thursday was just like, that's the day before Friday. But I love that we turned that around and we gave it
Yeah.
its own thing. So it's Thankful Thursday. And who are you grateful for? Let's put that out there. Anyone that wants to type in the comments who or what you're grateful for today, we're grateful for you being here with us and help us share this out. I'm going to do some sharing and put it in my groups.
And I'm grateful that my daughter is visiting and my friends from San Diego are here visiting. And I'm grateful for Sharon Ria with the No Judgment, Just Love movement. I have my little pendant on right here, and it helps me all the time. So I'm so grateful for Sharon Ria. We're all co-creating No Judgment, Just Love world, and you can go to njjl.world to learn more about that and get your own beautiful pledge that you can take. It's really amazing what she's doing right now. I'm so grateful for her.
Yes.
You know, we really need a No Judgment, Just Love world, and she's helped me so much with so many of the challenges that I had with judgments. And I find that I have complete freedom now, that I have let go of judgments and opinions. You know, I have decided that when I find myself having a judgment or an opinion, I just give it over to my higher self, to my true self, and I just say, self, take over this, please, because I know that judgments and I know that opinions are not of the God mind. And when my God mind is connecting and is, being with the universal mind, I'm not thinking judgments or opinions. And
Right.
so I've found that it's really helped me to have this little pendant that I can hold on to when I feel like I do want to make a judgment or I do want to have an opinion about something. And I've been really very conscious of when I have an opinion, when I have a judgment. Hi, Robert Dosa. Thanks for being here. Yeah. So, what I love about her, the movement that she has shared with our beautiful world, is that when we have, we have judgments come up, but we don't have to act on them. We
Right.
don't have to separate from each other because of them. And I just think that it's such an important, I just think it's such an important. Let's just go over to her website real quick, and so I can show
And
a little
yeah,
bit
that's
about.
a really good point, Karen, that you made because we can't stop those thoughts that
Yeah,
come
what
up,
she's.
but
Yeah,
you can pivot away from them when you pause, when you take that moment and think, oh my gosh, that was a judgment, that was a criticism.
yeah,
And when we're criticizing somebody else, we're criticizing ourselves as well because everybody is a reflection of us. Everybody's a mirror for us to look at our own thoughts and beliefs and actions. So, yeah, I love her movement. She is so amazing and so strong.
I
And I know,
know.
yeah, she's been putting a lot of that energy out for, what is it, 5 years now? I
Oh,
think.
you need to share it. The host, you need to share it.
Oh, okay. I have to go to it first before I can share it.
So it's njjl.world.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Zoom has made it so that it's, there's a lot more security
I know.
about, using Zoom, so now the host has to be able to share.
Okay, it says not found.
All right, well, here, let me just read what it says here. I love what it says, what she says, the message right here. Do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, do better. And that is a quote by Maya Angelou. And she says, let's face it, we all make judgments all the time because we're human. It's constant, natural, and automatic. So there's no judgment there, even on judgments. Judgments can be important to help us navigate our surroundings and keeping us safe. And there is value in including words like observing, comparison, and evaluation when talking about how we make judgments. But the judgments that we make are not the problem. It's what you think, say, and do next that matters. Ask yourself, is what's next harmful or helpful? That has helped me so much in this time, you know, learning from Sharon and the No Judgment, Just Love movement. Is it harmful or helpful? That judgment is so important to pay attention to. That, to me, you know, when judgments or actions taken without awareness, the distance between people is wide, and we give ourselves permission to be cruel or violent towards one another. To counter that divide, choose thoughts and actions focusing on the idea that every person is valuable to our collective consciousness and that we can do better through awareness, being kinder, and practicing no judgment, just love. Love closes all the spaces that judgment creates. So Sharon says, thank you for being curious. You could be the change that we've been waiting for to make in this systemic shift in how we all relate to each other. And then you can take action. There's some beautiful ways that you can take action. You can have take the pledge. You can print that out, download the pledge. She also has a coloring book called No Judgment, Just Love. Let's connect. You can schedule a time with her, and you can sign up for her newsletter just by clicking on what's next, keeping yourself in the loop.
Absolutely. So I did find her website, Karen,
Yay! Yeah.
and I showed what you were reading, and I also we're showing the page right now, the call to action page. So I encourage you all to check out this website. It is njjl.world. I had typed in .com, and that's why I couldn't find it. So don't make that same mistake. And let's support our beautiful Sharon. She has done so much in our world, and she's really, really helping so many people right now. I'm so proud of her. She's a bright light in our world. We need more Sharons. We need
I'm so
more
proud of her.
people
I'm
that
so
find
proud
your.
of her
I am
too.
too. Yeah.
And,
We
you know,
need
I actually hired her to help me with my conversations and my communication with my daughter. And she actually did a session with the two of us that helped both of us. I wrote her a testimonial, but I honestly couldn't say enough nice things about what happened, because, you know, when we're intergenerational, there's different ways that we communicate. And what she did was she went through and explained how my communication skills and what my communication patterns are, and how I might be able to be a little more compassionate when I'm speaking.
Right.
And also understand that, you know, we all have different communication patterns, and many of the younger generation are very, very, they're quick to get their message across. They want to get the message across quick. They don't really want to be in a long conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And my generation likes long conversations.
Right.
So we have to find a happy medium. You have to find a happy medium. And I think that that's been a real blessing, learning how to have that happy medium, learning how to communicate, and also learning how to communicate with myself, learning
Yeah.
how to be more kind and more gentle with the way that I talk to myself and the way that I talk to others.
Right. It's so important, Karen, that communication. And I think just your effort to really know how to talk to your daughter is a huge part of the bonding process to bring you two back into closer communication. Just letting her see, hey, I'm willing to change. I'm willing to see how we can make this better. And that goes a long way.
And it's interesting because and I'm so grateful because my daughter was open to it also. And
Yeah.
so, it takes two people to have a communication and to have conversations.
Yeah.
So when we did this was back in January when we had the session before the COVID, before the
Right.
pandemic. I hadn't seen her, but we became so close, even though she moved away.
Hmm.
We actually really improved our communication skills, and now she's here in person and we're just having the most wonderful time, and there isn't any even struggle for communication issues. It was just we all have different ways as we grow and mature and we go in different directions, and we just need to have a lot more empathy for the fact that some people aren't as talkative.
Yeah, well, not only that, Karen, but I think a lot of it too is our upbringing. If
Yeah,
we weren't seen and we weren't heard, and then we find our voice, we want to be heard then, right?
yeah, 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 I think you're right. I think you're right. And yeah, I think that's true.
Yeah. So we're all finding our way. I always say we're finding our way home. You know,
Yeah.
home is that place inside where only love is real, and we're all finding our way there. And the part about communicating with each other that's so important, how we do it and doing it with compassion. And I love that you reached out to her and that you did get the help that was needed to bridge that gap, because I know how much you love your daughter, and I know how important she is to you in your life. So
And
I'm
it's
very
also it
happy
also
about
helped me with Sharon has helped me when somebody doesn't want to talk to me, that I don't take it personally. That I, we internalize things sometimes. And
yes.
really, if that person is not wanting to talk, we just need to give them the respect
Hmm.
and accept their decision, but we don't have to take the blame or the shame,
Right.
which is an old childhood,
Hmm.
pattern.
Yeah.
But we it's a blessing when it happens and you get triggered, because you can look at it and say, curious, that really triggered me. And
Yeah.
instead of getting upset, we can get into our heart. Like you said, we can go home to our safe place in our own heart, and we can explore that. Oh, that, why that bothered me? Because when my mom did that, it really bothered me. When my dad did that, it really bothered me. And now it's happening, with somebody else that I really care about. But I'm not going to take this personally. I'm not going to look at this as an attack, because, like the beautiful Course in Miracles says, when I defend myself, I am attacked.
Hmm.
That's one of my favorite lessons in the book. And James Twyman did that lesson as like a really cool jazzy blues song, and because he takes the lessons and he puts them to music,
Right.
And then he goes through the lesson and he talks about the lesson. And I go back and I listen to that over and over again, because it's like freedom when we don't defend ourselves, when we know that the truth corrects all errors, and when we don't find a reason to defend ourselves. When we do defend ourselves, that's our ego, and that's really the false, smaller, local parts of us. It's not our true self. And so when I find myself going into those moments of, oh my God, why is this happening? I'm blocked again. Why can't I talk to this person? This person doesn't want to talk to me anymore. It's really something that has nothing to do with the other person.
Right.
And it's so free. It's such a liberation when we realize that, because most of my life I have been, we talked about this on the last show, but I've been addicted to people pleasing and thought that it was my responsibility for everybody on the planet to be happy.
Right. And how'd that work for you, Karen?
Not so well.
No.
Not so well.
Me
And
either.
but that was my ego too, and I always go, let go my ego, and then I hold my little no judgment to myself, no judgment, just love to me. Okay, little Karen, we know you want to be heard. Okay,
Right.
little Karen. And Louise Hay always says, thank you for sharing,
Right.
because when we acknowledge that part of ourself, and we don't try to block it, we don't try to suppress it, we don't try to make it wrong for feeling that way. We
Right.
just allow ourselves and accept ourselves, just like we are allowing and accepting and respecting others. We need to do that for ourselves. We really need to do that for ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. I love this conversation. And, it's also in the four agreements not to take it personally. So when the other people are reacting to us, to something we say or do that's triggering them, and they come back, it's like, don't take it personally. Just look at the situation and examine, like you were saying, go inside. Okay, that triggered me. What is that trigger? What is that memory imprint that's in there that needs to come up to be healed? We're all constantly being healed. And
You're a happiness coach. So I would like to ask this question to you, and anybody in the audience who wants to share it in the chat. And yes, we're so grateful for all of you to be here
oh,
too.
hi, everybody.
And so how would you respond with somebody telling you that it was your fault that they are not happy, and that they don't want to be around you anymore because they feel that they are not happy in their life, and they're blaming you for their unhappiness? How do you respond to that? I know you're a happiness coach, so I'm sure you probably have heard somebody say that, because
Oh, yeah. Many times. So when we are blaming others, we are looking outside of ourselves. And this is what I always bring it back to. So there's something that you're seeing it as outside of yourself. This is what you're perceiving, is that something outside of you is interfering with your happiness. So what is happiness? And where does happiness come from? Happiness is what's inside. It's not anything on the outside of you as you perceive there to be an outside of you. It's inside. And once you lose sight of that happiness in you, it's been covered up. So there's things that have been pushed down in there that's covering up that happiness. What you're looking at is this person or the situation or whatever it is, and you're seeing that as not bringing you joy anymore. That is not adding to your level of happiness, which is actually the joy in your life, because nobody can make you happy. Nobody can make you anything.
Right.
We have choices. And if we give our power away to somebody and then we say, oh, you make me so unhappy, you did that. That person didn't do that. Now, that person may have done some pretty nasty things or said some things that were not really great to hear, but you gave your power away by allowing it to affect you in that way
Yeah.
and to go in and feel the hurt. And then once you feel the hurt, what do? You want to find somebody to blame for that hurt. So of course, it's your fault. You're
Hmm.
making me not happy. So this is how I turn the conversation around when somebody comes and says, that person, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, wait a minute, you know. So we go into a teaching moment first about, okay, what is happiness? And what is it that you can get in touch with
Yeah.
inside to find that happiness? And there's a big difference between happiness and joy. And the people in our lives, the ones that are our close family, that adds to our joy. That brings us those really precious moments and the learning moments and all of that. That doesn't bring us happiness. It adds to our level of happiness, but that can't bring us happiness. We allow those experiences to come into our life and we learn from them and we grow from them. And there are those that are going to trigger. There's going to be things inside that we haven't dealt with, that we pushed down inside. And then when there's an argument or something comes up, it's like, oh, you did that automatically. It's automatic. It's all your fault. You, instead of saying, wait, let me look at this. Let me
Yeah.
see what's really going on inside of me. And Karen, it takes a strong person, a courageous person to step back and look at, okay, what's my part in this?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I realized that my part in it was my insecurities of wanting to please and keep everybody happy, that that's what the universe could give me as a feedback, and a result of my belief was I'm in charge of keeping everybody happy. And so the universe gave me people in my life to show me what I believed about myself.
Hmm.
And so Isabel, I love what you're saying. Great question. How would you cope with one daughter blaming you for everything she thinks is wrong in her life, even goes further and aids that on her surging, found her mother is a narcissist. Everybody wants to call everybody a narcissist now. Have
That's
you
the thing
noticed that?
now.
Like, and then you're either an empath or you're a narcissist.
That's the
And
buzzword, right?
yeah, it's like, oh, he's a narcissist. And that's because you're an empath and he's a narcissist. And
Yeah,
that's why this is happening.
right.
That's just another opportunity to do this. And where are the fingers pointing? There's three fingers pointing. I'm pointing at you and I'm blaming you, Teri, but there's three fingers pointing back at me. So if anything, I've always pleased others. Yes, thanks, Isabel. Me too.
Mhm.
Blaming me for my mother to be one to me, so I am one too. so so it's really just our world has become almost like a reality show, where
Right.
everybody's blaming everybody for everybody's problems
Yeah.
instead of taking the I took the responsibility for my problems, and I looked at my issues. I had fear of rejection, I had fear of abandonment, I had a false sense of security, and all of those things fell away. And I had to really look at that. Who is this Karen? And I didn't even love myself. So
Oh,
who is this person?
right.
And I had to really take a good look at that and say to myself, yeah, you know what? It's not your fault. It was never your fault. None
Never.
of it was your fault. And
Yeah.
none of it was my fault. This
Yeah.
is old conditionings and old programming.
Mhm.
It's nobody's fault,
Right.
but it's coming up to be healed, and it's coming up to be transmuted for our collective world,
Yeah.
right? It's coming up
Yeah.
to be cleared.
Absolutely. It's such a transparent time right now. There's
Yeah.
no more hiding. There's no more lying even because everything's being exposed.
Yeah, the
Everything
truth
is
corrects all
so,
errors.
yeah, it's so out in the open. So when somebody's blaming, they're still not seeing themselves. They're still hiding inside,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's their insecurities that want to strike out and say, "Well, it can't be me.
Yeah.
It can't be my fault." And they're still seeing fault. That's the
Mhm.
thing. It's like they're not seeing that really nobody's at fault. We're all here doing the best
Yeah.
we can,
Yeah,
trying
I
to
feel
all
way
focus
more
on the same
peaceful too,
thing.
Isabel, now that because you know what? It takes your power back. It gives you your power back. And because you only have certain things that you can control,
Mhm.
because you can't control how somebody else treats you. You can't control how somebody else feels about you. You can't control what somebody else does to you,
Right.
but you can control how you respond. You
Mhm.
can control what thoughts you think about yourself and about the situation. And
Right.
you can control how you feel. You
Mhm.
can control your emotions. You
Yes.
can learn how to control them so that you are in a place of neutrality. This is where my goal is now is I want to be able to say to this person, I bless you. I am grateful for you. I respect you and I accept your decision. It's none of my business. It's
Right.
none of my business. Your, I have no opinion about you anymore, and I have no judgment about you anymore. So please don't have any more judgment or opinions about me. You take care of you, and I'll take care of me.
Yeah,
You take care of
exactly.
your happiness, and I'll take care of my happiness.
Yeah.
My job is my happiness. Your job is your happiness. While I don't have to ever even say that to the other person. As long as I believe that,
Mhm.
that is what I am going to have mirrored back to me.
Yeah, exactly. And it's called emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
The more that we can really get in touch with our emotions, our own emotions, and own those emotions, own how we act, our reaction is our action. So
Mm-hmm.
when we react to somebody, whatever we do, what step we take, whether it's a word, um, and moving away from, whatever it is, that is our action.
Mm-hmm.
So emotional intelligence has you really look at your emotions and say, okay, there's stuff going on in here. What is that? And
Yeah.
examine those emotions.
Yeah.
And then I'd love to use the pause. Just
Uh-huh.
step away and pause for a moment before you go into that action that you're going to take. And it makes all the difference in the world, Karen, to do
And
that.
you don't always have to take an action either.
No,
You
you
know,
don't.
like you need do nothing.
Right.
You can trust that there is divine order, and you can trust that there's divine timing, and you can give it over to the angels right away. That's what I've been doing. I give it over to Jesus, the Holy Spirit, the angels. Anybody who'll take it from me, I'll give it to them, you know?
Yeah,
Because when I
absolutely.
start thinking things that are judgmental, or I start thinking opinions, or I have criticism towards somebody, I catch myself right there and I remind myself that that is not the truth.
Right.
And the truth is that we are all beautiful love and light, just having this human challenge, this human experience, this human condition.
Yeah.
And we just need to be more kind and gentle with each other.
Hmm. Absolutely. And sometimes there are things that neither person can work through. We have sometimes a stubbornness, and so nobody wants to give. Nobody wants to be that one to first say, "I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you," which
Yeah.
would really heal a lot of all of that. But sometimes there's a stubbornness, and sometimes it's you hold on to that sense of being right.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
right. So I'm going to
Well,
hold.
yeah, righteousness, entitlement, neediness, and victimhood. Those are the four things that I just went through like a whole pattern. But it's really so powerful. Like when we honestly bless the person, thank the person, accept the person, and respect the person, they don't have any control over you anymore.
Right.
and
Exactly.
and and really that's what it's about, because for me, like in chanting, so we've been doing this chanting, and Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, it saved my life, it changed my life, it changed everything for me when I started doing Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, because I was in so much anger, I was in so much betrayal, I was in so much resentment, and all I wanted to have was peace and harmony in my heart. That's all I wanted more than anything. And I couldn't see my way through it. And I started chanting, and I met my wonderful chanting family. And I felt so incredibly grateful because yes, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo changed my life. And I joined the Soka Gaya International. I'm going to type that into the chat here. I highly recommend people go check that out. It's sgi.usa.org in the United States, but it's in 192 countries. And over 12 million people are chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. And it's a beautiful ancient mantra that is inviting us to be our true nature, to find and go beyond any of our circumstances. And these Buddhas that wrote the curriculum and wrote these texts, they were in prisons, they were in horrific situations, and they overcame them. And this beautiful practice was able to chant, this beautiful practice was able to be chanted by over 12 million people now. And during this pandemic, it has gone even more wild. It has gone even more viral. And people are now, yes, I'm going to go look for it. Awesome,
Well,
Isabel.
it's
Yes,
Isabel at 9 o'clock tonight, Eastern
we'll be
time.
chanting tonight.
We'll be
Yes,
chanting that chant. I
right
saw
here.
Pochetta come into the audience, and
I'm Prachetta. Yes.
she chants with us.
She says, yes, I support Karen. I have been chanting for 21 years and practicing Nichiren. I can't say it right. Dai Shonin
Shonen.
Buddhism. Nichiren Buddhism is incredible. It's an incredible gift to our planet. And
Let's
I am
invite people. Yeah.
so incredibly grateful for it. So we chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, and we also chant Om Gam Gana Pataye Namaha.
I
And
love
we're
that.
removing all obstacles. And it's so powerful because we are removing all obstacles to peace. And the Soka Gaya International is chanting and bringing in people to understand that we are co-creating Kosen Rufu, which is peace on earth. So there's 12 million Buddhist chantings happening all over the world in 192 countries. So here we go, right? And now Teri and I are going to be doing this for the next month. We have another 35 days.
36 days.
36 days. Yeah, because yesterday was the 4th and today will be day 5.
Right.
Today will be day 5. And
yeah, and Isabel, it will be on this same channel. It'll be on EWN Enlightened Living. So you
right
can
where you're watching right now. Yep. At 6 o'clock, we do it every night, 6 o'clock. And we are going to do that for the next 40 days. We're also going to be listed with the World Unity Week. So I'm going to set that up too.
Hey, and
So
Sharon Boyle is on. I know Sharon
I
has
love Sharon
I
Boyle.
do too. She says, I was just playing some of my bowls, her singing bowls, while we chatted,
Oh, I love
including
that.
my new root chakra one. Oh, Sharon, I
Awesome.
can't wait to hear that one being played.
Well, come in and play for us tonight in the chant. You can join us in the Zoom room, Sharon. Can you join us?
It might be a little late for her. They're 5 hours ahead of us.
Oh, that's late.
Yeah, so that'll be like early, early morning.
That's too late for you, Sharon. Thank you, though. I would love to. Let's plan something that we can schedule something to do that with her, though, at her
Well,
time, at her leisure, when
yeah,
it's
well,
when
she
it's good
has
for her.
agreed to be on a show with me where we can play the bowls because I play singing bowls as well, and she's got many instruments. So let's do that. Karen, you can come on too, and
So
let's
in India,
chat
they
and
are
play the
chanting
bowls.
every morning from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. to combat COVID and safety for the world. Thank you for that, Prachetta.
Oh,
Thank you for
yes.
that. And
Yeah.
Gabby, thank you for being here too.
Hi,
Yes,
Gabby. Yeah,
yeah,
and Gabby tunes in to us when we do the chanting. Gabby, if you ever feel like coming on
come
Zoom, it's
on in. We got the
open.
Zoom. Yeah, come on in. You can just click on that link. If you go to the EWN Living, you can see the Zoom link right there, right on the page. So you can just come in the Zoom.
Yeah,
And we
that's
would
right.
love to see hundreds of us chanting together.
Oh, wouldn't that be amazing?
Yeah,
I would love that.
yeah. Gonna hold that space, hold that vision. And we're also
Going
holding a vision to get Teri a new computer. Teri needs a new computer.
Yeah, my computer has not been happy lately. Um, but it's working right now, so I'm going to say good computer.
And then tomorrow morning, I'll be with you for meditation here, right? Did we say that we were going to do tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. my time, 11 a.m. Eastern?
Yeah, I think Ruth is going to be on with you.
Okay.
Dr. Ruth Anderson is the founder of Enlightened World, and Karen will be leading us in a beautiful guided meditation at 11 o'clock Eastern
Yeah.
time. And you're right, 8 o'clock your time.
Yeah. And I will be guiding you into how to end the war inside of you
Ooh, I love that.
so that you can have peace
Hmm.
in your world. And we will be going from the war inside of you to the web of love inside of you
Oh,
as a guided meditation.
yeah, I love that. You know,
It's been helping me immensely because the war that we have going on inside of us, Teri, is worry, anxiety,
mhm,
and regret. And when
absolutely
we are worrying or we have anxiety or regret, we are not in the eternal now. We are not in this moment.
right. Exactly.
We are not in this moment. We are either thinking about something we regret from the past,
Mhm.
we're worried about something that hasn't happened, that's coming in the future, that may never even happen, that we're worried about.
Yeah.
It's just incredible.
Yeah. And when we think about it, there really is no time. There's no such thing as time. Everything is
Yeah.
happening. So when we are projecting about something that might possibly happen, we're just not staying in that present moment where everything just is.
Yeah.
If we can
And the
just stay,
past and the future are all imagined. They're not real. They're not real. They're imagined. They're in our memory. We can try to remember something that happened, but we don't remember it correctly.
right.
We, you know, two people who can have the exact same experience can have completely different perceptions
Hmm.
of the exact thing that happened.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And so what I'm doing, this is my what I do every moment now is I constantly pay attention to, am I thinking in the past? Am I thinking in the future, or am I fully here right now? Because a lot of times we will be brushing our teeth and thinking about an appointment that we have to do at at noon time, right? So I've left my teeth and I've left the moment, and now I'm in noon, and nothing has more power than the power of where we are in the present.
Right.
And so I've made it just this really, really like a promise to myself that when I find myself wandering in the past, if I find myself thinking about the future, when I bring myself back into this moment, I bring my hands down and I anchor my hands down onto my legs, and I realize I'm here. I am here. I am here with you, Teri. I am here with you, Sharon, now. Yes. We grow with it, the challenge. Yes. It will have a ripple effect. Let's chant, Karen, for no obstacles. Absolutely. Chanting for no obstacles. I love that for Shada. I love that we're doing this. I feel like I said to Teri, I feel like this is a divine, Eckhart Tolle, yes, he did talk about the power of now, but he's not the only person that has talked about the power of now. And it's really funny how it's always comes back to Eckhart Tolle is the power of now. Well, I think really Ram Dass was, the bringer of the now, Be Here Now, his book back in the 60s, which I absolutely love. And his spirit that is here now. Even though he left his physical body, I feel him guiding me now and catching me so powerfully. Like, and Wayne Dyer, he also, and Louise Hay, they're all talking about being present and being in the now. We all just need to pay attention to our own experiences and really bring ourselves back into this moment and trust the inner guidance, the inner wisdom that is being brought to us in however it comes to us. Like the fact that Teri and I decided to do this chanting, it just started on a phone call. I mentioned to her that I had done a 40-day practice with the Good of the Whole, which I highly recommend everyone go to the Good of the Whole on Facebook. Good of the Whole on Facebook has a connection center. It has so many beautiful, beautiful replays. You can watch all the replays. Yes, can you explain chanting for me, please? Okay, chanting for you, please. Okay, so chanting is using mantras to get us out of our head and into our heart space. Because when we are in our head, we are so busy and we are so like spinning like a hamster on a wheel. And when we quiet ourselves and we go down into our heart, a mantra is a sound vibration that gets us quiet enough so that we can stop thinking so much, because it really helps our neural pathways and it quiets the busyness. And these mantras are from thousands of years ago, and they've been passed down from generation to generation. And these mantras are like a sound healing because they come from purity and they come from honesty and they come from the focus is to, like Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. I'll read to you about Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. The essence of Buddhism is the belief that each person possesses the potential to overcome any problem or difficulty. This inherent and boundless potential is referred to as the Buddha nature or true nature, a state of life characterized by limitless courage, wisdom, and compassion. So by chanting the phrase Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, which is the name of the Buddha nature, we awaken to the reality that we are Buddhas who have unlimited reserves of courage, wisdom, and compassion to resolve every challenge in our lives. By chanting, we experience positive changes and undergo a process of self-transformation called the human revolution. Now, if you have a problem, or you have you've been brought up in a different religion or a different aspect of from Buddhism, you may call your Buddha self your Holy Spirit, or your higher self, or your true self. And so we just have different labels. It's just different ways that we, like the song that I have, the message is the same, though the words we speak may differ. That's the golden rule. The message is the same. Take a walk in another's shoes. See yourself in other faces. Just imagine trading places. The golden rule's the same the whole world through. Yes, you could call it God, you can call it Buddha, you can call it Krishna, you can call it source, you can call it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't take it personal. You can call it whatever you want. It's the isness of who we really are. And when we allow ourselves to just be the pure loving awareness. I really like pure loving awareness because it doesn't have any other labels. And when I just can say the word pure loving awareness, because if I say I'm chanting, oh gosh, when I said I was raised Roman Catholic. So when I told my mom that I was teaching Kundalini yoga and that I was chanting, she was like worried for my soul. And, so if you just allow yourself to be pure loving awareness, I like to just call myself pure loving awareness. And I remind myself, am I being aware right now? Am I present? Am I being present? So I love this. Prasad is so awesome. Nam-myoho Renge Kyo means I dedicate my life to the law of cause and effect, which is the mystic law. So each time one chants, one makes a good cause. Beautiful, Prachetta. That's a beautiful way to explain it too.
And
See,
so each good cause will get a good effect.
So each good cause has a good effect. And see, this is what I mean by everyone has a different perception. Mm-hmm. See, when I started chanting, it was for me to be able to get rid of, I wanted to conquer my anger and my resentment and my grief and my sadness. And I had to peel all of that back to have something that I was chanting for, which was I was chanting for all living beings to be happy, all living beings to be healthy, all living beings to live in peace, and all living beings to be free from suffering. So as I started chanting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, the anger and the resentment and the betrayal, it just went by like a cloud. It didn't have any power anymore. And the more that I chanted, the more I had love and harmony and peace in my heart. I'll tell you, it wasn't easy for me to forgive this person. And it wasn't easy for me to get to where I am right now. But as I kept chanting, as I kept doing the practice and holding the vision, I saw everything within 2 months. Within 2 months of chanting. I started in January. And by the end of March, I had found complete forgiveness, and I was able to not see it as a betrayal. I was able to see it from a perspective of gratitude, and I could be grateful and peaceful and thankful and neutral. And then getting past neutral, I got into acceptance. It takes a while. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, everybody, when we feel like we've been betrayed, when we feel like somebody that we trusted doesn't come up to our idea of what we thought they were, that's really our opinion. That's really our judgment.
That's right.
And we can change that by chanting. We can change that by chanting. And so I just love what she said here. I'm going to repeat that. So Nam Myoho Renge Kyo means I dedicate my life to the law of cause and effect. So each time one chants, one makes a good cause. So each cause will get a good effect. That's it right there. I mean, see, I couldn't have put that into better words myself, Prashetta. That's why we're on this team together.
That's
It's a
right.
beautiful practice where karma turns into a mission. Yes. And another beautiful thing that they say is turning poison into medicine. So when somebody is unkind to us, somebody is very, very hurtful to us, we turn that poison into medicine. Because when somebody is unkind to us or is hurtful to us, they're only hurting our ego. They're only hurting our false self, the self that we identify with.
Right.
So I identified with being a wife, with a mother, with being, a friend, with being, all of these different things. When you identify yourself as these roles and somebody kicks you in the stomach saying that you're not that great at that, it's really your ego that is getting the kick. Yeah. And if you just take that pause, get into your heart, take that pause.
Our soul knows. So when we always turn to our higher self and just really do like you said, just go inside, we're going to have more awareness of everything. And I love Sharon Boyle.
Yeah.
I've been going through those emotions after the years since my partner and I split. It has taken major work, a road of endurance to reach that neutral point. They call it 0 point. To reach that neutral point and then moving on to acceptance. It doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
After my marriage broke up 7 years ago, I took a whole year, to heal myself. And it wasn't just stuff from that marriage. I went all the way back to childhood.
Yeah.
But there's things in there, if you really want to move forward in a powerful way, you'll take the time that's necessary to go inside and to dig and say, okay, what else needs to go? It's got to go. It can't stay inside of me, because otherwise we repeat the same patterns over and over again.
Yeah.
And I don't want that.
Never again.
Wants to keep going through misery.
I feel like I've found eternal freedom. I feel like I've found that eternal freedom. And this is the 0 point song for me. And this is what I do every moment when I find myself judging or wanting to have an opinion. I just go, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And then I talk to my heart and I remind myself that I have a choice. And I say, you are my awakened heart. You are the one who makes it start. You are my awakened heart. So in a moment, in an instant, we have this moment when we want to react. And instead, we can take that pause and we can remind ourselves, I choose to have an illumined and kind mind and a grateful, awakened heart. And if we just do that for ourselves, and then whoever you're trying to forgive, whoever you're trying to, even if it's, most of the time it's to myself, I'm trying to forgive myself for the thought I just thought about somebody else. Right, exactly. For the action that I'd like to take on that person, I'm forgiving myself.
Those thoughts are going to happen. And so
Yeah.
be gentle. Don't criticize and be so hard on yourself because it will happen. Karen, we've only got a couple more minutes left on the show. I
Yeah.
have to run off to meet a friend, one of our friends.
Yay! To get, yes, Tina, 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 Tina.
I know. I'll give her a big hug for you.
Yes, please give her a big hug for me. Oh, I'm so glad we had this beautiful time together. And I'll see you tonight at 6. My time 6, your time 9.
Yes, 9 o'clock Eastern time. And I hope that many of you will either tune in the audience or come join us on Zoom. Edda,
Yeah.
I know that you will be there. And Isabel, if you want to come on Zoom or if you just want to listen in the audience. And Gabby, I would love to have you.
Love for you guys to come in the Zoom. It would be so fun.
Yeah,
It's a really fun thing that we're doing, and we're doing it for the collective conscious and the collective unconscious. And we really, I feel like we're really doing something that's really helpful, and I can feel the shift.
yeah, absolutely. So we will see you tonight. This
Okay.
show that we're on, Gratitude Happy Hour, Thankful Thursday, is on every other week. So next Thursday in this time slot is The Broader Edge. Mira Rubin, Sheila Cash, Liz Williams, and myself come on and have a panel discussion, a roundtable about whatever
Thank
we talk
you.
about. And it's always delightful, and they're so insightful,
I
these women.
just want to acknowledge 2 people before we end, because I love people to type in. And when you take the time to type in, I really want to make sure you get
Absolutely.
heard.
Yeah.
So Isabel says, yes, I relate to all of that by feeling it, and don't let it get in anymore. Good job, Isabel. And Gabby says, my last relationship I used to label as narcissist. Not anymore. I thank the universe for bringing him into my life and teaching me the biggest lesson of my life. Beautiful, Gabby.
Absolutely. The
Thank
bigger,
you for
the bigger,
sharing that.
yeah, the bigger the challenge, the bigger the lesson and the blessing.
The
Don't
bigger the blessing. That's how I feel too, Gabby. We ought to hop on a Zoom together and do a little talk about our growth and our blessings. I would love that. And show your art. It's so amazing, Gabby. You're so talented.
yeah, beautiful. Well, I
Yes, thank you,
y'all.
everybody.
I
So
love
we're
you
gonna
all
let
so
Teri go
much.
because she's got to go get her see her little Tina Volant,
My
our
little
little butterfly
Tina.
lady.
Yes, I love her so much.
I know.
Okay. Well, you all have a great rest of your day or night or morning or whatever it is for you in the world. I love you so much. And
Love
Karen,
you all.
love
Love you
you
all. Thank you. Bye.
for doing this show with me, Karen.
I
I love
love you so much, Teri. Thank you so much.
you. I'll see you in a few hours.
Yay! Couple
Okay.
hours.
Bye.
Bye.